You know, one of the things I love most about HTF are the characters. Each character has a unique, colorful design, personality, and purpose. If you ask me, this is one of the show's biggest strengths. While everyone is simplistic and not exactly complex, each of them have traits that make them interesting. However, there's one character who doesn't have much to her name. In fact, she's barely in the show as is. I'm of course talking about Lammy. Lammy is the final character to be introduced on the show. For that matter, she's not even an OG. You see, Lammy's inclusion in HTF resulted from a character poll held during Season 3's run. The event that the poll took place is called Vote or Die, and had her pitted against Truffles. After accumulating about 107,000 votes, Lammy was declared the winner. Her award was being given her own starring roles in Season 3, while Truffles was left being stuck as an Easter egg per episode. But how do Lammy's starring episodes hold up? Well, they're funny, I guess. Let's start with her debut episode, A Bit of a Pickle. To this episode's credit, it has the basic ingredients for a good HTF episode. A deceptively cutesy start, the sudden whiplash, the fun violence the show is known for, the funny gags in between, the lovable characters, the peak music, and good animation. So, it isn't necessarily a bad episode. It's a good start to Lammy's addition to the main cast. In the episode, Lammy has a tea party with a living pickle, named Mr. Pickles. Petunia then joins the tea party and sets her teddy bear next to Mr. Pickles. After Petunia leaves to get more tea, Mr. Pickles rips off the teddy bear's head. Lammy tries to put it back together, but Petunia comes back at that moment, so now it looks like Lammy broke it herself. Petunia gets mad, and then Mr. Pickles strangles her. Yet again, Petunia is the disposable red shirt for a new character's introduction. Lammy tries to stop Mr. Pickles, but now, to Flaky, who just arrived at the scene on a scooter, it looks like Lammy is the one strangling Petunia. Lammy then sees Mr. Pickles about to hijack Handy's truck and run him over, so Lammy ends up getting into the truck as it starts. The truck rans over Handy. Rip. Lammy gives chase to Flaky to explain herself. Meanwhile, she also speeds by Lumpy, who is now a cop. Now, this is what I would like to call Lumpy is a jerk episode. Because he litters his half-eaten sandwich, makes Cuddles a casualty in his chase with Lammy, and tases her in the eye. Oh, also, Lammy accidentally causes Flaky's demise as well. Anyway, Lammy's in jail, Mr. Pickles joins her, and the episode ends. Again, the episode ain't bad. For an introduction, it's actually pretty solid. Lammy's other episode, A Royal Flush, is more or less the same deal. She invites some friends over, they play poker, Mr. Pickles ruins everything. And that's that. I think the most notable part of the episode is the subplot with Flaky. Yeah. Yes, Post TV has gotten a bit more unhinged. This ain't even the only bizarre poop joke in this era. Anyway, her only other major appearances comes in Season 4. All work and no play, where she gets a monkey bar lodged in her skull. It's pretty funny, but it's honestly the least remarkable of her main appearances. Outside of that, she is just a background character. That's not an exaggeration. Every time she appears, she exclusively shows up as scenery decoration. Spare Tire is the only other episode where she is even remotely important in a scene. Discounting Spare Tire, you'll only see Lammy as a random incidental character in the background, not unlike her rival Truffles, who, to rub further salt in the wound, has way more appearances than Lammy. Honestly, there's more content for Truffles than Lammy can even hope for. We get an outline of his personality, that being that he's a spoiled bully, we already know he's friends with Toothy. He's apparently fought in the war Flippy was in if this flashback is of any indication. He is the host of 2 separate contests. He stars in his own Gangnam-style parody. We've actually seen concept art for him. And unlike Lammy, he actually appears in both Still Alive and the 2 collab episodes that picked up on almost a decade-long hiatus. Lammy was supposed to be in Still Alive, specifically in one scene in Going Out with a Bang. But unfortunately for Lammy, this was cut. Okay, you probably understand by now that Lammy is probably the most neglected main character on this show. But was she actually a good character in the first place? Okay, so what is Lammy's personality? Okay, so, she is basically Giggles, but she is friends with Flippy, except Flippy doesn't have PTSD. Basically, she is just the third girly girl with a living pickle companion, who is the only non-Flippy character who purposefully causes harm by design. Minus all the nuance Flippy has that makes him a good character. Look, Mr. Pickles' kills are funny, but they don't hold a candle to Flippy. Flippy is great because he's cinematic. The way he hurts his victims is over the top, creative, imaginative, awesome, and simultaneously horrific and frightening. And the presentation of his episodes are always special. He really makes a scene feel intense or climatic. His episodes are always fun, even if they tend to be repetitive. And even then, they actively try to shake up the formula with the later episodes. Furthermore, there's the added context of Flippy being a war veteran who's a sufferer of PTSD that gives him a split personality. He is a good person in his normal state, but he has a severe case of post-traumatic stress disorder due to his time at war, which gives him an alternative personality that is malicious. Many episodes explore this aspect of Flippy's character, and he's one of the more interesting characters because of that. And while you could argue Flippy doesn't have much characterization beyond his PTSD, I'd argue the contrary. Besides being a good fellow when he's not evil, we know Flippy has a preference for peace and quiet, and many episodes explore that by having him being bothered by the loud noises made by other characters. He also dreams about unicorns, rainbows, tea parties, and other stuff like that. Operation Tiger Bomb puts a spin on Flippy by having him be clumsy, making him even more of an underdog. Now, how does this compare to Lammy and Mr. Pickles? Well, Lammy is just Giggles 2.0. Like, I know this sounds cliché to say, but I'm not kidding. She likes tea parties, she hangs out with the other girls, she wears a bow, she's friendly. It's literally the exact same as Petunia and Giggles. And unlike Lammy, both Giggles and Petunia have other traits and character development that makes them at least marginally more interesting. With Lammy, her sole gimmick, outside of being another girl, is that she is friends with an evil pickle. This evil pickle kills other Happy Tree friends. Why? No reason, he's just evil. Like, Mr. Pickles is just boring as a villain. He's just inferior to Flippy in every way. Mr. Pickles doesn't even have a personality. He doesn't even die. At all. He just kills. But what's that? You see, the twist is, only Lammy sees Mr. Pickles as alive, and thus some people, both in and out of universe, assume she's crazy and has an illness like Flippy. Apart from being yet another joke that's at an expense of a real-life disability, we don't even know this is the case, because the show repeatedly hints otherwise. How did Mr. Pickles move from that location to the next, if he's seemingly not doing anything? How did he kill Flaky? The show seemingly can't decide on whether Mr. Pickles is alive or not. So the only ounce of interesting quantities that Lammy potentially could have isn't even set in stone. And I know the show isn't known for character development, or plot, or lore, or whatever, but even with that in mind, Lammy and Mr. Pickles are just the most bare-bones characters. Their episodes aren't really bad. I think Mr. Pickles' kills are still entertaining and well thought out. But they're just really limiting. Like, Mr. Pickles doesn't have all the cool stuff Flippy has an overall. Mr. Pickles has far less range than Flippy. You can do all sorts of imaginative or cool stuff with Flippy, whereas Lammy and Mr. Pickles are stuck with an extremely specific joke that gets old real fast. Like, even with characters like Toothy or Mole, they have more freedom in what they can do, and in general, they are just funnier as characters. Yes, Toothy is a basic filler character, but in both design and function, he's a lot more entertaining than Lammy. I'd said many times that Mole is pretty repetitive and blatantly just a stereotype of a disability for the sake of a cheap laugh. But he's honestly funnier than Lammy, at least in my opinion. Blind Date is a good example, where the creators get all sorts of great jokes out of Mole's gimmick alone. Neither Lammy and Mr. Pickles have shown that to me in their episodes so far, which is why I can confidently say they're my least favorite characters. But you know what? I've been overly critical towards Lammy. Let me explain some things I do like about her. For one, her design is very cute. Of the girls, Lammy is probably the most unique due to her being a sheep. Not to diss on Giggles and Petunia's designs, and as a whole, I still vastly prefer Petunia's design over Lammy, but I'll give credit when it's due. Same with Mr. Pickles. He's arguably the most unique character in the show, even more so than Lumpy arguably. Mr. Pickles is, well, a living pickle. He basically has none of the traits the other tree friends have, apart from the Pac-Man eyes, which are just pupils like Cub. I also like the villain motif he has. The top hat and mustache are a nice touch. Also, Lammy speaking in bass is a really cute detail. Also, I've mentioned that, while I find them the most boring and underdeveloped characters by far, I still find their episodes entertaining. I also think Lammy and Mr. Pickles' kills are still fun and well thought out. They just severely pale to flippy kills. I think A Royal Flush is the better episode of the two. The kills are a lot more creative and over the top, and it does a better job meshing Lammy's dynamic with the other main characters. And that's basically all the positives I've got to say about Lammy. As for additional details, Lammy and Mr. Pickles have a good track record when it comes to surviving their episodes. As mentioned, Mr. Pickles basically never dies, except in one cameo in All in Vain, where it's shown that Lumpy ate him. Lammy dies slightly more often, but she is currently the one character who survives all her starring roles. Yes, if we're counting irregular episodes, not even Cro-Marmot has survived them all. Lammy has 3 deaths overall, which is one more than splendid. In terms of marketing, I've already explained that Lammy pretty much fell off the face of the earth following Season 3. But frankly, she was celebrated beforehand. She featured quite a bit in the video games, even being the default character you play, as before unlocking the others in Run and Bun. They also feature in quite a few merchandises. Most notably, they had multiple figurines, and Mr. Pickles has his own plush. It really feels like Lammy and Mr. Pickles were borderline mascots for Season 3. They basically were everywhere in the brand, even being in the forefront on some material. It's only more ironic when you realize Lammy has the lowest number of appearances by far, and that's counting Truffles as mentioned. In terms of overall spotlight, she is at the bottom. While she technically outclasses Truffles in this regard, she gets less screen time than other minor characters. Even Cro-Marmot feels less underused. Like he has his own TV series episode and a regular episode, which gives him a huge advantage above Lammy. You know, it is funny how the 2 background gag characters have gotten more recognition than the character who won through fan votes. If you somehow didn't get it by now, I don't exactly have the highest opinion on Lammy and Mr. Pickles. I don't think they're the worst characters of all time or anything, but they're definitely the weakest characters in HTF. But I would look forward for them having the chance to become better characters in the future. Thank you for watching my video. If you enjoy this type of content, then subscribe and keep up with the newest uploads. I plan on making more videos of this sort, so just be patient.